So, hi, beautiful ladies. Hi, Alizar. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining us here today for our second group call of Ascension Awareness and our 3 steps to healing our world. Wow, that's a really big intention, isn't it? Well, I'm Daniella Hogarth, and I'm an energetic healer and also like to hold space for women who are looking to improve their well-being and develop their intuitive skills. So thanks for being here with us today, ladies. What we might do is just a very casual circle structure for this session today. And before we started our call, I drew a card from my crystal oracle card deck, which is this one here. You would have seen it before, one of my favorites. And the card we pulled, I'll just let you know, the one we pulled last week was so appropriate. It was the card, the healer. And I was like, bang on, what we wanted. This week we've pulled new beginnings. Very appropriate, considering the energy shift that we have started to feel over the last couple of days. So yeah, the last 2-3 weeks or even longer has been quite intense, very heavy energy. This week we're starting to feel that change pretty much from Friday, Saturday, this weekend. So I might not read this little blurb, new beginnings, new opportunities. It sort of is fairly self-explanatory there. Okay, so the purpose of this meeting is for us to come together and support each other in feeling like we're not alone in what we're feeling externally in this collective energy. And for us to have some techniques, some tools that we can use personally and as a group to raise the vibration of this earth and really be part of what's going on at the moment, because there's nothing worse than having the knowledge and knowing that it feels like the world's crumbling around us and there's something you want to do, you want to help, but you feel like you're sitting on your hands. So that's the point of this group. So I'm just going to light a little candle here to set our intention for this circle. And our intention is to stand as one, united as a powerful force to bring freedom to those who are ready to ascend. So let us do that. Let us unite and come together as one. So I'm just going to take us through a very short meditation to open the circle. So if you could just get comfortable, feeling yourself sitting and resting where you are and taking in a nice, slow, deep breath. We call in the guides, spirit angels, and the beautiful beings of love and light, including those who have passed over who make up part of our collective spiritual support team. We welcome you here today. Today we set the intention to dissolve fear and to share our love with ourselves, our families, all of humanity, the leaders of the world and our planet and the entire universe, and the collective light beings that are working with us to bring peace and harmony to this world. We also set the intention to release fears, negative beliefs and old thought patterns, any energies, entities or thought forms that no longer serve. We ask for all of these to be dissolved, transmuted and absorbed back into the universe or returned back to source. And we now open this space here and we welcome you, beautiful ladies. So if you're comfortable, when you're ready, I invite you to share with us your name and where you're from and something you'd like to release or let go of today, and something that you would like to bring in or your intention for this group meeting today. So, well, maybe I'll go first. I actually haven't thought mine through, so I'll be thinking on the spot. So I'm Daniella, I'm from Mordialloc. What I'd like to let go of is I've been looking at a lot of information coming through about the dark plan, and I'm having moments where my mind is on a loop and I'm just thinking, wow, how bad some of this stuff is. And I'm also having moments where my family or friends are asking me how I'm doing, if I'm okay. And generally, if no one asks me that question, I'm actually doing amazingly well. I'm able to keep my vibration up and I'm in my nice little bubble, but not naive. When someone asks me how I am, like the practicality of things, I just feel my energy plummet and I start feeling really sorry for myself and I go into victim mode and it feels really unhealthy, really heavy. And that feeling, that heaviness, my vibration dropping stays with me for a good hour or two. So that's what I'd like to release today, is not allowing my vibration to drop that low, because that's when I'm, susceptible to things that are going around. And I had a little experience last night, which was horrible. I'd watched something and I was feeling really low. And when I went to bed, I felt all these negative energies coming into my room. And it was so intense. I was saying my usual entity clearance prayer, and it was like they were playing with my mind. I couldn't remember the prayer, which has never happened to me before. So there's some heavy stuff trying to creep in. So I'm really trying to keep my vibration high. So that was a big share. The thing I'd like to bring in is maintaining that vibration of love, trusting and knowing that this is all planned. This is all part of the good plan. We're all transcending and just trusting in that. So, that's nice to get that off my chest. Thanks, everyone, for holding the space for me. Okay, whoever would like to go next, please.
I'll go next if you like. Yeah, just that real, I know what I want to keep bringing in, which is your presence and awareness. And but the letting go, I think it's just with holding. So I understand what you're saying with the downgrading into the lower energy or the heavy energy, and that's when you can start feeling things getting heavier again. So yes, just for me, I think it's more like that freezing. So when you start to feel like that, my nervous system will tend to freeze a little bit and it gets a little stuck. So, and then you start holding the breath. So just releasing the holding and just, bringing in the trusting and the presence of being, and just juicing myself up from soul source, I guess. Filling up the soul, and just, bringing on all that beautiful energy from soul source, and just keeping me present and fluid. Thank you.
Well, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Ali. Thank you.
I really am struggling with releasing the pain and knowing that it will all dissipate eventually, and taking time for me to rest and recover. And I want to bring in health and happiness and light and love, I guess. That's about it.
Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. We wish that for you as well. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so what I'd like to do is actually just quickly go through the 3 steps again, extremely quickly, but the most important thing is I want to say that declaration of sovereignty, just so that we are reinitiating that, because I have had the intention and the thoughts of doing it over the week, but I haven't actually done it in detail. So it will be healthy for us to do it today. So these 3 steps are steps to ascension and to letting go of our older, heavier versions of ourselves and bringing in what we need to enjoy life, really. So step 1 is to understand what it is that we're looking to dissolve, the dark plan. And then once you've understood what it is that's going on, the bigger plan that's out there, we want to look at integrating those feelings. So a lot of us will have feelings of fear or guilt or shame. Allowing those to come to the surface, sit with them, be comfortable with them, and ask if they're triggering anything for us as well. I had, again, last night, another scenario where I was feeling triggered by a family member. And when I dug deep, I realized it was an old childhood pattern of mine. So a lot of this is coming up for us to do our own work, which is what we want to do. We want to make sure that if there is anything we can do to shift those old belief systems, those fears that are within us, the demons within us, we want to try our best, because when we ascend, we don't want to take them with us, okay? And we're also looking at tying up loose ends. So if you've got relationships that you would like to resolve, or there's someone that you love and you want to tell them that, or tell them that you're proud of them, or let them know how much you appreciate them, this is the time to do that. So setting up life ready to have a new beginning. You know, this is a rebirthing, this ascendance. It's not just wake up next day and we're there. So we want to let go of what's not serving us. Step 2 is our declaration of sovereignty, setting our boundaries and protection. And step 3 is through forgiveness and gratitude, we send love to those being seen and unseen. Okay, so this is where I'm going to go through the declaration of sovereignty. I will read it out, and if you could, in the first sentence, when I say my name, please put your name in place of that, and say it out loud to yourself. If it's embarrassing, you can say it in your head, but it's a fairly lengthy one, so I'm going to read it out. Also, try to allow these words to absorb into your body vibrationally, okay? And if there's any sensations or feelings that are coming up, let them come to the surface. I, Daniella Jane Hogarth, proclaim my sovereignty. I am in charge of my mind, body, and soul through all time, space, dimensions, and reality. I ask for soul recognition and to energetically cleanse and protect the entirety of my family lineage, loved ones, and those who cannot protect themselves or who have had their rights taken away. I am empowered. I make all my own choices. I stand in my truth, and I am centered and grounded. I ask to search and find all of my energy that I've lost or sent out. I ask to bring back my energy purified and sanctified, and to anchor it in at my core. I ask to seal my energy with a strong, healthy boundary. I ask to wrap mine and my family's energy field in blue-green light that only divine guidance can pass through. Let it be known, I reject all dimensions, time and space, any agreement, influences, or contracts of entrapment that bears intention to deceive, misinform, manipulate, exploit, control, steal, harvest, seduce, harm, or negatively influence my being, my family's being, and those who cannot protect themselves or who have had their rights taken away. I protect and shield my actions, my home, car, workspace, business, website, or published works. I reject any interfering negative energy, entities, EMFs, thought forms, patterns, and programs that are not of my highest and best. I acknowledge the current negative state of affairs, seen and unseen. I forgive you for forgetting the light from where you were created from. And I send you blessings that you remember the truth and return to source energy. I thank you for being this catalyst for change and to allow this time for us to find love, connect with each other, to heal our hearts, heal our planet, and for this ascension to a place of truth, love, and freedom. I love you, but know, and so it is. Thank you. I just find that so powerful. Anyone want to share how they're feeling after feeling that vibration?
Just a reclamation of your own power and strength returning. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good. Yeah. Okay, so now what I want to do is step 3. So last time in our last call, we did a little visualization of following our energy up through our center, following up out through the crown of the head, and then connecting in with our highest self. Floating there in the universe as our radiant angelic version, and imagining sending love or healing energy to planet Earth and everyone on it and all the leaders. That's a very beautiful technique that we can use easily on our own, just through visualization. I did do a separate meditation recording of that visualization if you want to listen to it. I think it's a short one. It's only 6 minutes and it's on YouTube on my channel. Today we're going to try a different technique, and it's using the pendulum. So I came across this technique a number of years ago, and I've used it on and off the whole time. So the first point to note is what sort of pendulum to use. Now, if you're a pendulum expert, which I'm not, they would have different recommendations of different sorts of pendulums for different reasons. But the truth of it is, it's the power of intention. So long as you're using something that is cleansed of energy and your intention is pure, you can pretty much use anything. And I'll also explain that if you don't have a pendulum with you, you don't even need to have a pendulum. We can still do it through intention. So I'll just quickly go through. This is a clear quartz in, I don't know, one of these spiral things. This is great. You just want to make sure that you've cleansed the energy of the crystal before you do any dowsing. That dowsing is the term used for using a pendulum. And to cleanse the crystal, you can either have it out in the moonlight, you can run sage smoke over it, or you can put it in salt water, or you can hold it in your hands and put some Reiki energy through it. So, and if you're not qualified in Reiki, you can still use life force energy by drawing that energy up through Mother Earth, up through you, filling up your heart chakra, and then pouring it out through the palms of your hands into the crystal until you feel the energy has been cleansed. Today, I will be using this brass one just because I like it. I'm drawn to it. I feel it's quite accurate because it's got the point at the bottom. You can use a ring, any kind of ring that you wear or piece of jewelry, and tie, if it's got a chain on it, that's fine. Or you can just tie a piece of string to a ring. It's very straightforward. But again, if you're using jewelry, they are charged, and jewelry is charged with the energy of the person wearing it. So just give it a bit of a cleanse before you start using it. That's recommended. Now, if you don't have a pendulum at all, what do? This is quite exciting because you can use this in so many ways. What you can do is imagine the pendulum. So today what we're going to be doing is holding the pendulum over an image. Okay, if you don't have the pendulum, you simply imagine the spinning of the pendulum over the image you're holding. So you just imagine it in your mind's eye. So when your eyes are closed, you imagine what it looks like for a pendulum to be going around in a circle with the intention that you're cleansing energy or sending in love. Now, that's one way to use visualization with a pendulum. The second way, which is very cool, is you imagine a great big pendulum above your head swinging around above your house. And what this pendulum above you is doing whatever intention you're setting. So you might imagine that it's drawing fear out of your home and out of you. Or you might imagine the pendulum is above the planet Earth and it's drawing fear out of the earth. Or you might want to use the pendulum to change the weather or to take out grief, to draw out grief. Whatever your intention is for the purpose of using the pendulum, because there's many purposes, many intentions. So you can have a picture. Today we're going to be focusing on planet Earth. So I simply have a picture on my mobile phone of planet Earth, which you can kind of see. And I deliberately chose one that has Australia on the map, and it's got white around the outside instead of black. So I just got that image from Google, and that's as fancy as you need to be. If you want, you can have a little globe of the Earth. You could have a crystal that represents the Earth. You can get a pen and paper and just draw a circle, and that's the Earth. It's just how powerful your intention is. Sometimes if I don't even have time to do that, I hold my hand like this and I imagine a little sphere of Earth sitting in my hand, and I will pendulum over that. And the same goes if I'm wanting to draw something out of myself or a friend for distant healing. I'll imagine a mini version of me sitting in my palm or somebody else sitting in my palm, and that's how I do it. Look, there's a lot of different other ways to do it. They're just some basics for today. All right, so I've got my little image here, so I'm just going to hold my phone up so you can see what I'm doing. That's the picture of the Earth. And you get your pendulum. So if you guys don't have an image of the Earth, just place your hand in front of you, imagining a sphere in your hand. Oh. And we're going to just start spinning anti-clockwise. Okay, so anti-clockwise is the way to draw energy out. And you'll notice that it really spins big. And as you start focusing on drawing the energy out, you're going to start saying things in your mind or out loud. And they can be any sort of statements that come to mind. So I draw out negativity, I draw out fear, I dissolve negative energy. And just keep going like this. Now, this here, so long as you're holding that intention really strongly, that you're dissolving, that you're drawing out, that you're transmutating any negative energy, any fear, anything that's not of the light, this pendulum will probably spin like this for hours and hours and hours. So if you can just do it for 1 or 2 minutes, that's making a difference. Now, it's okay if your pendulum isn't spinning perfectly. you can make it spin. You just want it to be going anti-clockwise because that's drawing out. All right. So now we're going to show you the other way. So that's all drawn out. Well, as much as we've got time for. And what I always like to do is when you're drawing energy out, you're creating space. So I like to fill that space up with love and light energy. So to do that, well, my image isn't even showing now, but maybe I'll go back to my hand here. Now what we do is we purposely spin the pendulum in a clockwise direction. And I can actually instantly feel that difference. It feels a lot lighter, a lot freer in my body, and I can breathe a lot easier. So here, all we're doing is holding an intention, or we're saying out loud, I send in love, I send in peace, I send in joy, I love you, I love you, I love you, I forgive you, I accept you, I embrace you, thank you, I'm so grateful, I love you. Just the highest vibrations that you can. Just keep sending them in clockwise. So clockwise is putting energy in. And you don't have to do it for too long. It's the power of your intention. And again, if you don't have a pendulum, you're just imagining this happening. Either imagining your hand doing it, or there's a pendulum above you. Okay, so that feels really nice. Honestly, we could sit here and do this for 5 or 10 minutes, but just doing it for a minute each way is very, very powerful. I recommend doing this when your energy is not feeling like it's in alignment, so that you can get your vibration back up, and then you're contributing to what we're all contributing as a collective to healing this earth. So does anyone want to comment on what they noticed or what they felt with that? Thanks, Sharon. With that, Ali, how did you go with that? Or any questions? Unmute yourself, hun.
Yeah, no, I think you've answered my question. I thought it was just for drawing out, but you said obviously anti-clockwise is drawing out.
Yeah.
Clockwise is bringing in.
Yeah, it's really important. Well, for me personally, I think it's really important to put in, because we want to fill that space up. Otherwise, it's open to anything to walk in. And at the end, something extra that you can add is just imagining a protective shield around the earth or around yourself or your home, whatever you're working with, to keep that energy protected and a shield around it. Okay, so that's our exercise for today. Wanted to keep this call fairly brief, so we might do a little closing prayer meditation here for the circle, and if we've got any time for questions, we can do that. So just sit back in your chair again, taking in a slow, deep breath. You are loved, blessed, healed, and forgiven. You are at one with your highest self. You're at one with your own divine consciousness. Go to a place now inside your heart, a place where you feel peace and love. Connect in with the energy of your inner voice, your inner child, and hold her now in this space. Comfort her. Remind her that she's safe. Share with her your love and your love for each other. Holding each other safe and connected. Trusting that all is well. Everything is working out well in this world. And everything is working out well for you. Trusting in keeping your vibration high and doing things that you enjoy. Love to you all. Coming back to this space. And taking a slow, deep breath. And thank you, ladies. That's us here for today. A quick one. Anyone want to share anything before we say goodbye?
I really enjoyed the pendulum meditation. I could really feel the difference between
good.
Pulling out and going in.
Thanks, Sharon. That's really good. Yeah, it's almost like a corkscrew, almost, or a spiral pulling out and then, it's giving me shivers thinking about it. Play with it. Have some fun with it. Try it on yourself. Even imagine a family member who's unhealthy or could do with some support, or yourself. Put that person in the palm of your hand. You don't have to hold it up here like this. It's just so you can see me. I'll hold it down a bit lower. And then draw out that toxins, draw out the pain, draw out. This is really good if you're, there's a bit of suffering going on, and then fill that space up again with love and light energy. Whew. I'll share one more thing because I love sharing. You can do this on the chakras. So either imagine each chakra sitting in your hand, or you can do it over the body of somebody else, or draw a picture of yourself on a piece of paper and do this over each chakra point. Draw out over each chakra. I like to do it until the pendulum stops. Sometimes it's a really long time. Then it's cleared, and then send love back in. So there's a lot you can play with the pendulum, and we've only just touched on it today. So yeah. Now, if you want a copy of that Declaration of Sovereignty, there's a copy in the group, or you can send me an email and I'll send you a copy. So yeah. Thanks, ladies.
Very much, Danielle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
If you enjoyed our group today, then you can subscribe or email and I'll send you more details. Thank you.